Welcome back to the Roundrockville Tales YouTube channel. I'm the author of A Roundrockville Tale, whatever Trevor. It's a pleasure to see you this Sunday morning, which is Easter Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Today I've moved my set outside because it's a beautiful day here in Kelowna, BC, and I thought I would enjoy it and share it with you. So let's get to reading. Page 37, Chapter 8, Crystal and Lumpy. Lumpy sat enjoying the view out his window when he saw Crystal rolling up. Knock, knock, knock. Lumpy opened the door quickly and widely enough that Crystal fell through, landing in his arms. "Oh, excuse me." Crystal straightened herself up. "You caught me by surprise."
"I hope the surprise was as delightful for you as it was for me."
Crystal's cheeks turned red, and she daintily covered her smile. Lumpy gestured for Crystal to enter.
"To what do I owe the pleasure?"
They looked into each other's eyes. Crystal rolled past into the room. "We can't make a feast for you without knowing your favorite foods."
"Well, I enjoy all kinds of foods. I especially enjoy octopus ink and tentacle soup, turtle beak and alligator snout stew, and boiled seaweed and cactus pear pie."
Crystal was leaning back away from Lumpy, her nose scrunched up, mouth pursed, and eyes squinting. "What?" Lumpy burst out laughing.
"I'm sorry, but the look on your face was worth it."
Lumpy reached out to steady Crystal as she clued into the joke.
"I'm just kidding."
"Oh, you're a funny rock, are you?" Crystal's face changed to a closed-mouth grin, eyes wide, holding back a laugh.
Lumpy gave Crystal a stone-faced look. "Well, you're about to laugh."
He reshaped his face into the biggest, goofiest look. His mouth was wide open, one side higher than the other, and the edges were curled up, with one eye wide open and the other half open. Crystal exploded in laughter. "Oh, you are funny." Crystal took a deep breath and touched Lumpy's arm. "I have to watch you tell Brick you want octopus ink and tentacle soup." She grabbed the arm. "Come on, we'll go to the tea room." Crystal led Lumpy out the door and down the pathway.
"The door doesn't even have a lock."
It was a quick observation and almost didn't register for Lumpy.
"You have the most beautiful homes. I love the common landscaping. It's spectacular."
"You're welcome to contribute with plants and features. The decor of your home is completely up to you, though I'm sure Sylvia will have some suggestions." Lumpy noticed the variety of flowers and greenery. The features and gardens created a living collage. They followed the cobblestone path to the center courtyard, took a left at the edge of the courtyard, and followed the bend around to the Emerald Tea Room. The front entrance was wide open. Lumpy and Crystal burst in, breaking the quiet with their laughter and giggles. "Oh, good. There you are." Sylvia met them as they entered. "I need you to deliver lunches today." Sylvia broke their attention and muted their laughter. "Well," Crystal took a deliberately audible inhale. "Hello, Sylvia." "Sorry, busy day." Sylvia also took a deep breath. "Hello, Crystal. Linus, it is good to see you. I'm sure you won't mind helping out."
"Not at all. I'd be happy to help in any way I can."
"Rox will be getting hungry. If you could deliver some lunches, that would be great."
"It would be my pleasure."
Lumpy took a small step forward and bowed. "I hope that is in jest." Sylvia was still trying to figure Lumpy out. "Brick should be done with the lunches You can collect them in the kitchen.
Crystal locked arms with Lumpy.
Thank you, Sylvia. It would be our pleasure to deliver lunches to the hard-working rocks.
Arm in arm, they made their way through the dining room. Sitting at the dining room counter were Sapphire Sparkly and Sphere Sphericin. They were quietly looking over some preliminary drawings. Crystal took a peek over their shoulders.
That looks amazing.
They turned around and spoke in synchronicity.
Thank you, Crystal.
They looked at each other.
Ha ha, jinx! Sapphire and Sphere designed beautiful venues and the most spectacular table setups, Crystal explained.
Sphere got out of her seat and circled them.
I love your dress.
Lumpy took a glance and saw only the shapes of tables. I'm sure such beautiful rocks do beautiful work. In the background, Sylvia was eavesdropping.
Oh, he is slick. A little too slick, I think. My dear Mr. Lumpy, we aim to please.
Sapphire's desire to please was innate and an occupational hazard.
This might sound strange, but are you left-handed?
Sphere was an expert in incorporating function into fashion. As a matter of fact, I'm ambidextrous. Lumpy held up both hands. I prefer to eat right-handed, more elbow room.
That definitely makes things easier.
Sphere made a note on the drawing. Sapphire addressed Crystal.
Crystal, can you ask the construction crew to join us after lunch? They're out working on the fence.
Lumpy volunteered. I would be happy to help set up.
Oh no, you're mine for the afternoon.
Crystal pulled Lumpy away. He took a step back, turned, and fell in step. The kitchen of the Emerald Tea Room was the central hub of activity for preparing a feast. Esmeralda Emerald orchestrated the kitchen.
Rick, this sauce needs some salt.
She took another taste from her spoon and added,
and some oregano.
A pinch of salt. Rick dashed the salt into the sauce like a magician selling his trick. The buzzer on the oven rang. Rick turned the buzzer off. He and Esmeralda stepped aside as Samuel slipped a baking pan out of the oven. Brick spun around as Samuel slipped away. Grabbing a pinch of oregano, he turned back and mixed it into the sauce like a wizard preparing a spell. I cast saucious deliciousness. Esmeralda shook her head, stirred and tasted the other 3 simmering pots.
Excellent. Let's get some veggies in that soup broth.
Lumpy stepped through the threshold into the kitchen. The distinct smell of a kitchen. I love that smell. Cooking oil, chopped onions, garlic, ginger, oregano, pepper, butter, and citrus fruits. It brought back fond memories of cooking at a roadside diner called Stone's Throw from Nowhere. Lumpy inhaled deeply. Wow, it smells delicious. Brick and Samuel spun around and slid past each other like seasoned dance partners. Lumpy knew their dance was impressive. Esmeralda turned and wiped her hand on her apron. Esmeralda turned and wiped her hand on her apron.
There's our guest of honor.
Reaching out, she directed Lumpy and Crystal.
No time for pleasantries.
Pointed at a line of paper bags on the service line.
These will need to go out to the farm and the construction crew.
Leading them past the prep areas.
There's a cart out back with a couple of baskets of berries. Bring the baskets in and you can use the cart. Put them here.
Esmeralda pointed to a table. Grace Granite Garnett and Delilah McDiamond worked the prep table, chopping vegetables, rolling dough, and chatting. Delilah looked up at Lumpy, smiled shyly, and returned to chopping. Grace was rolling dough.
We'll need something to stuff these crusts with." She gave Lumpy a wink. "Any suggestions?"
Oh, I do love some watermelon and molasses pie with whipped camel cream.
Lumpy played it straight and leaned over the prep table, absorbing the aromas. Grace stopped rolling. Delilah dropped her knife, grabbed the edge of the table with both hands, and looked up wide-eyed. Esmeralda's eyebrows shrank in, and she looked at the roof, calculating. Even Brick and Samuel stopped like a couple of statues. Samuel froze at an odd angle. Meanwhile, Brick looked over his shoulder. Crystal scanned the room, making a mental note of the facial expressions. Finally, she couldn't hold the laughter in anymore. "Ha ha ha! Your faces!" Lumpy stood up tall with a silly smile.
If you don't have camel, I'll settle for some whipped yak cream.
The kitchen crew let out a collective breath. Brick started a chain of laughter. Samuel, Delilah, Grace, hee hee ha ha ha, snicker snort, ha ha ha. Finally, Esmeralda, ha ha, very funny. Well, I guess you'll get whatever we're making then, Mr. Smart Rock. Esmeralda corralled Lumpy and Crystal out the back door. And don't forget the lunches. Crystal was hunched over, still laughing, replaying the images of her confused friends. Lumpy smelled cherry wood and roast pork. The smell led Lumpy around the corner where he found the source, a smokehouse with glowing coals of charred cherry wood caressing a rotating pig with tendrils of hot cherry smoke. A dusting of salt, pepper, and seasoning joined the smoke in a smorgasbord of seduction. Lumpy's mouth began to water. "Lumpy, come on, we have work to do," Crystal called out from around the corner. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed my Easter reading of Chapter 8 from a Roundrockville tale. Tune in next Tuesday, and we'll see what happens in Chapter 9. Have a wonderful day.